Attention, please.
And now, it's Cutter's Rockcast.
Yeah, I swear, no matter how often I use these, every time it's like, oh, wait, there's a new thing. Now I forgot how to do this part. Wait, where's this?
Dude, every time I get on the computer, there's something new. Every time I go to stream, there's always something. My mic's not working this time, or
right.
the camera's not working, or the audio is the wrong input, or whatever. I get it.
Then I'm watching, like, I'm seeing all these Twitch streams, right? And I'm watching band stuff, and I'm watching video game streamers, and because my son's obsessed.
Yeah.
He's got to watch every single YouTube. I swear to God, he's watched this one guy play through Spider-Man like 4 times, like the same video. I'm like, we had the game. We played it. I went through the whole thing.
And see,
watch me do it.
It's it's funny because, like, I'm the same way. I'll watch some streams just because the person's entertaining, or the game they're playing I haven't played yet and I'm interested in it.
Sure.
But I know people just, like, I'm grateful for them because they're the ones that are coming and hanging out on the stream and just sitting there watching me play the same game over and over and over. But there's the dialogue, like the chat room that we can, talk back and forth. So I'm like, okay, that's a little different. I can keep, people entertained that way. But yeah, I get it when there's people that are like Tim the Tap Man. I don't know if you're familiar with him. He's got million some followers, and he doesn't respond to anyone. So people watching him over and over and over, I kind of start, what's the fun in that? But hey, everyone's got something. And
dude, well, the YouTube ones are fun. There's see, his favorite is, oh God, what's his name? He's an English dude, blue hair, Dan something maybe.
That's Black, maybe.
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, blue hair. He plays Minecraft a lot.
Oh, I'm not. That's not him then. Never mind.
But also various other games,
Yeah.
And he watches him constantly. And then we have a part-time DJ at the radio station. Him and his kid do it. They go through sports games. They play, like, they're doing NBA 2K21 or whatever.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
And they have, I don't know, what do you say today? 40,000 subscribers or something like that.
Holy shit!
Like, man,
there's money to be made there, man. It's crazy.
I know.
So I gotta ask. Under the Metallica flag, please tell me you got "Ride the Lightning" under. Yes, "Ride the Lightning" underneath.
4 albums.
Hell yeah! "Ride the Lightning" is the first record I ever listened to. Hell yeah, dude!
That one's autographed, though. I mean, that had to be.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Dude, Chad and Vinny, like, I love those guys.
Yeah. Holy shit.
Yeah, there's that, and then there's a Deftones scarf underneath, and
sick.
Various other things.
Sick.
in a big black sheet so I can record guitar videos.
Nice.
Because we're stuck doing this stuff, man.
Yeah, right. Right.
What are we gonna do? I know, like you said, you've been doing some streaming stuff, but what have you been up to with not being able to tour and
just streaming? Where I'm living now. It's my grandparents' place I grew up in. After they passed away a few years ago, I took over and just started renovating and being on tour all the time. You're always usually on tour during the summer, so it's like the first summer that I've been home. So.
Right.
Got to do stuff around the house. My grandpa used to grow a big garden out back, and it was like about an acre and a half, and
sure.
We kind of shrunk it down. But me and my dad, my family actually, we all grew vegetables and fruit out there for the first time in a couple of years. So that's cool. Been doing stuff like that. Yeah.
So that's cool.
Yeah.
Gardener.
Yeah, a little bit. Got a little bit of a green thumb.
It's all right. It's funny you say that. I went just, again, with nothing much to do. My cousin and I went on a little motorcycle, whatever. And we found the farm in Wisconsin, which is, this farm is like, I don't know, a couple miles from basically where Door County starts, okay. Which is, it's the Midwest Hamptons. I mean, it's where all the rich people go to vacation,
Yeah.
And it's literally in the middle of nowhere. I couldn't find it to save my life. It's this one road that had, at the time when we lived there when I was a kid, we're the only property on this entire road.
Okay.
And now there's a couple houses there, but It's so quiet and so serene. But going back and seeing that, I'm like, man, I remember that giant garden that we had, and it was everything, you know, from corn to broccoli to cauliflower to tomato, whatever. And we literally canned and had everything. The only time we went to the store was like necessities, you know.
Right. Yeah,
I think back in those days, it's crazy.
Yeah, growing up was the same way though. During the summer, we'd always have summer corn and sweet peas, and my grandpa was known for growing oversized fruits and vegetables. He had, I kid you not, every year, I think it was like 6'10", 400 plus pound pumpkins, and I'm telling you, they're about
Holy crap!
You can't even see it, like massive.
Get on a trailer and go enter in the county fair.
Exactly. He's won too many of those. Disney World bought some every couple of years.
Wow.
Yeah, they were massive. I'm not even like 450 pound pumpkins, man. Like you had to use a tractor to lift them up on the back of the truck, and the truck would just go.
Jesus.
Yeah.
That's craziness. And now look at you, singer in the band. You know what? I was just listening to DOA again and the new version, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Working with why can't I think of his name off the top of my head?
Joyner,
thank you. Working with somebody like that on a song like that, adding those rap verses that really, man, they really strike a chord to what's going on in the world right now. Talk to me about that experience in that particular song.
Yeah, it was crazy how everything turned out, and we've never been a political band, but you know, everyone's got, you know, feelings and viewpoints, and when we were writing that song a couple of years ago now, we were like, well, we want to sound like we're blaming one person for how things are turning out, or one side, or whatever. It's look at how we're all treating each other. Look at how we're all treating, you know, it's just look at the fault within yourself. And that's kind of where that song started. And it's funny, we got a clip while we're recording it. Brian and I talking about like how cool it'd be to have Joyner and Lucas on a song, because we've been a fan of him for a long time, and we're just, you know, kicking some ideas around, and Joyner's name came up, and, you know, never didn't come to fruition and whatnot. But we go to put out the record. We reach out to Ben Prue, who does music videos for rapper Token and Joyner Lucas. Mm-hmm. We've been a fan of his work for a long time, so we reached out to him. We're like, hey, we'd like you to do some music videos for us, and he's done almost every single one off Trauma. While we're doing the first couple, we showed him the record. He liked it, and we told him about DOA, and told him about Joyner, and he had the connection. He reached out to him. Joyner reached back and was like, yo, we really like this. So we started talking music video ideas and what the song was about, and he's like, cool, all right, I'll be right back. And then a couple weeks later, he sent us his verse, and it was amazing. I was like, we were at the Grammys. I think it was the day before the Grammys were out in LA, and I think got emailed over to us, and Brian or Steve showed me. I was like, dude, this is great. So we filmed the music video the next day or two out in LA, and that was the first time we got to meet Joyner face to face, and just great dude, cool dude, and it was just cool energy, you know, after meeting him, talking about the song, and like, you know, where he was coming from, where we were coming from with the idea of it all. And then when we put it out, obviously it was like, we weren't like, all right, here's the day, 6 months from now, we're going to put it out. It was like, all right, it's going to be out within this month or two. And then a month later, it's all right, it's going to be out within these 2 weeks. And then you got like 2 weeks before, 3 weeks before, you're like, all right, it's going to be this day, it's coming out, we're putting the video out. And it just happened to be the day we chose. It's crazy how everything was, you know, everything else going on in the world.
His verse on that song is so powerful. I think it struck, and it's one of those songs. Forget sometimes how rhythmic, you know, hard rock and heavy metal can be, to lend itself to have a rapper of that caliber, or wordsmith, vocalist, however you want to say it, of that caliber, be able to put things on a verse like that and just have it flow so easily and so just work.
Yeah, it's metal and hip hop, metal and rap, rock and rap. They share more similarities than they do differences, especially with, you know, metal vocals. It's the same as rap, and you're just putting a tone to it. It's, you know what I mean? Like look at Slipknot, you know, like or Mudvayne, you know what I'm saying? Like the da-da-da-da-da-da, you know, just the tone you put over it. It's you know, that's what makes it the metal and the instrumental. So there's more things that get shared with hip hop and metal, and there are differences. And to be able to have a song with a phenomenal wordsmith like Joyner Lucas, and to put it over a song that we've had, you know, an idea of wanting to have a rapper on, and not, you know, time didn't allow to reach out to other rappers, and finally it coming to fruition and seeing how well it worked together. Just I don't want to say we knew it. We had a feeling that it was going to sound good and fit well, but we couldn't have pictured it just feeling that as well as it did. Like, it just fit so good.
Obviously, you yourself have done that here and there a little bit. So what is that? How does doing that inspire, you know, you for writing words, for working on verses, for how you're going to incorporate your scream, for how you're going to incorporate those rap style vocals?
I don't know. Trauma was the first time I really got to experiment with, you know, just not screaming the whole record, you know, doing a little bit of singing and more, you know, rapping, I guess, for lack of a better term. But I've always been a fan of rap and hip hop and metal. I'm a massive metalhead, you know. So it was just
You don't say.
No, yeah, you know, you would never have known. But I had to look down and see what shirt I was wearing today.
Right, I know.
Wearing some death metal shirt. Anyway, it was something I've wanted to do on an I Prevail record for a while, and when we got to Trauma, I was like, all right, well, here's the time we do it. If we don't do it now, we're just probably shouldn't try these new things this far, you know. And so when we go to writing the songs, there's parts where it was like, we're DOA, it's like, all right, well, this feels like a part where, you know, should be some flow, and usually that meant like, all right, some kind of scream phrasing, some kind of pattern, and there's different songs like Breaking Down where it's like it's kind of rappy, but there's more oomph to it, you know. So it's, you know, where do you say, is that just harsh vocals or is that rap? And so it was fun on Trauma to experiment and be like, all right, well, I'm just gonna stay in the pocket here, or I'm gonna really put some more aggression into it here. And then there's songs like Bow Down where it's like, obviously it's just going 0 to 100 on vocals, you know.
God, I still love that song. I've already talked about how much I still love Trauma to this day.
Well, it means a lot, man.
Of course. So what about working with somebody like Delaney Jane? Because now obviously Every Time You Leave is the latest single. That's the one that's now on rock radio everywhere that we're playing locally. It'll show up on my national countdown show probably next week.
Yeah.
You know, talk to me about working with somebody like that, and then the difference of it, because that's obviously a completely different style of singer.
Yeah, we didn't get to work with her in the studio in person this time around, but we were finishing. Yeah, it was one of those, you know. I think she's, if I'm not mistaken, I think she's in Canada. So I could be wrong. Anyways, don't listen to that. So we were, I'd say we were halfway through demoing and writing songs, starting the process, and we started the song Every Time You Leave, and we got to the chorus and we're like, okay, we did the intro, verse, chorus, and we're like, all right, it's gonna have another chorus, it's gonna go into a bridge, and it's gonna have the outro chorus thing. But we'll wait on that, move on to the next song. So when we finally come back around to it, we're like, all right, we're piecing it together. We wrote a second verse for it, and we're like, man, we haven't had a female feature on a song yet on any of our records, and that's something we, you know, wanted to do at some point. And I think this was really the time for it. We all agreed this song really felt like it would be perfect going like a back and forth kind of thing. And we reached out to her after, I think it was Brian found her on Spotify and shared it with us, and we listened to some of her stuff, and we're like, man, I really like her voice. She's got a really, really pretty unique voice that kind of feels like it would fit well in here. So we hit her up, we sent the song over, sent the parts over, and she sent them right back, and we were all just, oh man, this couldn't have worked out any better. It feels like it was meant to be, like her vocals are meant to be on this track. So it just worked out super well. And I think it was a surprise when that song came out. People would be like, who is this? Especially the rock world not being familiar with her. And as was I wasn't familiar with her until we were working on the record. And for it to come out and be like, wow, I couldn't picture this song any other way, you know.
There are a lot of bands, it feels like right now, especially in this genre. And sorry, Brian, that I said genre. I just was reading an interview with him where he's like, forget the genre. Anyway, there are so many crosses. You know, there people maybe you've never heard of if you're in the rock community, like you just said with Delaney Jane, or people maybe you have but are of a completely different ilk. You know, I Prevail, you guys are working with who you're working with. You know, obviously it's very documented about like bands like Bring Me the Horizon working with who they're working with.
Yeah.
We are seeing, it feels like, a lot more of this as of late, and maybe I'm wrong in that, or maybe it's just more mainstream now than it was, but I like it. It's an interesting take on exploring new avenues within the music we love.
I love it. Speaking on the genre thing real quick, it's like, you know, there's just to classify things. If you're in a general conversation, you're like,
Loved what he said. I'm not gonna lie.
yeah, well, I agree with. I didn't read that, but me and him had the same conversation before.
Sure.
It's like, you know, there's rock, there's metal, there's hip hop, there's rap, and then you start going into like it's avant-garde, you know, pushing my glasses up, avant-garde, jazz fusion, black metal. It's like no one gives a shit. No one gives a shit. All right, like. I love it. I love black metal. I love grindcore. I love all these little sub genres. But all the people that are fighting each other, it's like, it's not deathcore, it's black metal, you son of a bitch, get it right. It's like, you really have nothing else in your life that is this important. You want to pick a fight over what some other people in the world are creating. Like, oh man. Okay, anyways, moving on from that.
I agree. I have had those arguments so many times. My favorite one, and I'm totally going off on it for a second. My favorite one is years and years ago. I was at a sports bar with a friend of mine, and we're getting wings. And it was, you know, bands like Killswitch Engage were really getting popular at the time. So like 6, 7, something like that in that era. And I hear these two guys talking about how, well, Killswitch Engage isn't a metal band because they sing. And I remember I'm sitting there, my buddy's hitting me on the shoulder. He's like, they don't know who you are, do they? And I'm like, I don't want them to know who I am. I don't want to get in this conversation. Finally, one of them reached over. Cutter, what do you think about? I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, they're a metal band.
Yeah.
They're fast guitar riffs.
Yeah.
Are there double bass drum? Okay, so if you take that, yeah, they're a metal band. You can break it down to any subgenre you want to just bring it into. But if you go up to Bruce Dickinson of Iron Maiden and tell him he's not in a metal band, he's going to punch you in the throat, and he should. And I hope Rob Halford does the same thing. His name is the metal god, for fuck's sake. Like,
for real.
You know, come on, man. Like, Black Sabbath invented it, for crying out loud. Like,
50 years of metal, baby.
They're not screaming their balls off, but if you told somebody in 1972 that wasn't the heaviest thing you'd ever heard in your life, like, what?
That's like when people are like, oh, Metallica's not even heavy. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. You're just trying to sound so edgy. Oh man.
That's not metal, that's like rock at best.
Yeah, oh my god. Anyways, so that's where I stand on genres. Back to the features and all that. I love it. I love it because like you have the hip hop community, the rap community that are they'll do a mixtape or a record that's 18 tracks and there's like 30 different. Look at Post Malone's last record. You know, he's got 12 features on there, and there were some that I wasn't a big fan of compared to the next ones, but look at the collaboration. Some of these songs are massive, and I think it's because these two big artists come together and make something. And now I'm not saying the rock world needs to have a full record that's featuring this person, this person, this person, this person, but one of my favorite records as a kid was the Linkin Park Jay-Z Collision Course. And look at Aerosmith and Run DMC, and there's so many opportunities for something cool to come out, and I think that's why I'm not the one to say rock or metal's dying, but it's been in a hibernation for the last couple of years to a decade. But this, I feel like it's on the rise again, and it's starting to be cool again. So all these kids that are gatekeeping, you're fucking everyone else over, first of all. Second, I think it's cool that you make these collaborations and make something fresh. And it doesn't mean you have to stop playing metal, but if you had, to open your ears and open your mind to something else, you never know what. Look at new metal. Look at that big trend that happened out of new metal, adding hip hop and turntables to really nasty, grimy guitars. Look what happened. Look what bands came from that, and look what sprung from that. Linkin Park and Mudvayne and Slipknot and Limp Bizkit. How could I forget them? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Do you remember the Judgment Night soundtrack?
No.
Oh my God. Okay, I'm gonna blow your mind. Ready?
Okay.
So Judgment Night was a shitty movie with Emilio Estevez and Dennis Leary, and about some guys that were going to a fight and they get lost in the South Side and ghetto in Chicago and they end up in a drug ring. Either way, the movie was all right, but the soundtrack itself. So I belong to a vinyl record collecting group or whatever, and I don't have much compared to these guys, but we get together every so often and hang out and listen to records and have a few beverages and whatever. So I'm at my best friend's house, and it's her husband that's in this group. So we're over there the other night. We pulled out Judgment Night on vinyl. Judgment Night was a collaboration soundtrack where the lead single was Helmet and House of Pain. And then it had, what was it? It was like Slayer and Body Count, I think. It was Cypress Hill and Pearl Jam. And I might get some of the collaborations confused, but it was, like De La Soul was on it, like Living Color, Biohazard, and Onyx. So you had all these like 90s rappers, 90s gangster rappers, a lot of them, with these metal bands.
Dude, I'm pulling it up on my Spotify on my other screen right now.
You were gonna freak.
Cypress Hill and Pearl Jam.
Cypress Hill and Sonic Youth too.
Sonic Youth and Cypress Hill, Faith No More, Slayer and Ice-T. Holy shit. Yeah, dude, you're exactly right. Like all these.
And this is 93, I think?
Yep, 93.
Okay, so at that point in time, right, all you had that Anthrax collaboration with Public Enemy, and you had the Aerosmith and Run DMC. That was it. And then this thing pops out. 4 years later, you've got Limp Bizkit and Linkin Park and all these other bands starting to come out.
Yeah. That
are so heavily influenced by both genres of music. Right. And this soundtrack, at that time is 5-6 years old, and you go, whoa. Yeah. How groundbreaking of a thing,
Dude, I'm literally getting off this interview. I'm going to listen to this today.
Should.
Because I knew Slayer and Ice-T did a collab a while ago, and apparently it was on this. So, but that's yeah, dude, that's crazy. And it's oh man, that I could go on. I'm just gonna start rambling here. Anyways, that's awesome.
No, you're fine.
Ice-T, Body Count, and the guy from Power Trip just put something out too. It's like, it's just, I love seeing it. I love seeing it, man. I love seeing it.
Ice-T, the guy, obviously a very proficient rapper, gangster rapper for his time, actor, philanthropist, whatever.
Yeah.
And then he's the lead singer of this hardcore band. Like, it's just, I love that shit. I love it so much. And I love it when bands are willing to do that, but also don't lose, nobody's pulling a Sugar Ray, where you're a heavy band. And then all of a sudden you had one single that did well. So now you're going to sound like that for the rest of your career. Most bands, for example, if they do that, there's nothing wrong with that. Go work with a symphony, Metallica. Go work with the Canadian folk singer I Prevail. I think that's amazing. I love it when bands do it, and I love that you guys have done it and you've released a single with it and you're having success with it. And that other bands are too. And Post Malone, dude. First of all, I love his last album.
That's great.
But the song he did with Ozzy, not the single, There's another song on Ozzy's record that Post Malone is on. That is
It's a raid.
fantastic. It's heavy. It's brutal. And it's every like Ozzyism you want in an Ozzy song.
It's called? It's a raid.
Yeah.
That riff, dude. That riff is so fun. It's very like old metal. It's sick.
Mm-hmm. And then you got him doing the Nirvana tribute. Like, I don't know. The cross genre stuff I'm absolutely loving right now.
Same. I'm a big Post Malone stan.
And it's cool because you do have guys like that are, helping bring that up to the mainstream.
Totally.
What's going on with I Prevail for the future? I mean, from here on out, obviously, we're not touring, we're not doing any of that stuff, and it sucks. And I just want a concert again in the worst way. Even for local cover bands, my singer was pissed at me because I told her we're not going to go play any bar shows. No, we're not going to be part of that.
Yeah, just
get this over with so we can go play
cool. A little bit longer. Yeah, just hold on a little bit longer.
Exactly. What do you? I mean, do you have any plans, like as a band, of what you're going to do for the rest of this year? Streams, writing, recording, anything?
We did some acoustic videos for some songs we've already released, so that'll be coming out soon. We're working on a live record. I think it's going to get a digital release first, and then I'm working on a vinyl set for it down the road.
Okay.
Dylan and I have been streaming on Twitch. Other than that, we've been working at our we got our one of our old storage units we've had for the last years. We bought or rented the ones next to it. We're in the process of making them look a little nicer so we can film more content out of there. So that's on the yeah. You would never know. We got it pretty nice in there right now. It's gonna put some carpet, some fake walls in there. You would never even know.
That's amazing.
So doing stuff like that, that's on the, I don't want to say the near horizon, but we had about 2 weeks where we got together and wrote some demos. Nothing crazy where we're like, oh, we're working on an album, but it's just getting some ideas on paper and on the computer. But just to see where our heads are at, and I think we got some time coming up here in the next month or two where we're gonna be doing that again, put some demos down, and hopefully getting in the studio to actually start seriously tracking some of this stuff. So nothing I can really say that like is in stone, but we have a lot of things that are in the works, and one or two of them are going to come into fruition before the rest of them. So okay. I guess just keep your eyes out, and things will start coming up here soon.
Obviously, we've seen quite a few bands as of late do full-on live stream concerts with production and everything else.
Oh yeah.
From classics like STP and Bush to Black Veil Brides, just in one this past week. Trivium just bought a hangar, apparently.
I saw that article, yeah.
Is that something you guys have talked about at all, about possibly trying to get all of you together in a space to do that, or is that just too much?
We talked about it briefly, and that's kind of the thing. We don't have a space yet, so we're working on this storage unit space, and we may even if
unit.
And even if we don't do like full-on live concerts, we want to put out content that's not just, hey, we're playing video games, or hey, here's a clip of something. We actually want to put some content out that, so no one's just sitting wondering what we're doing. But I can't say we have anything live show in the works yet. Just it's a lot of crew and a lot of setup that we it would take some time before we would be able to be like, hey, yeah, we're doing it next week. But it's been something we talked about. It's been something that's been we've been kicking around. But like I said, there's a bunch of other things that we're juggling, and not sure which one's going to come out first or come to fruition first. But it's all we got some plans. So I'll leave it at that.
How do you feel, especially as a metal singer, about driving concerts or social distancing concerts, or you know what I mean, like the kind of various ways that people have tried to kind of create quickly to be able to do stuff?
I was listening to a podcast, I think it was Bert Kreischer and Tom Segura, and he was talking about, I love that podcast. They're talking about I think Bert just did a small run with a lot of them were driving casinos, and he said some places they're very like, hey, we're lucky that we're this far ahead. Let's keep social distance. Let's wear masks and stuff like that. And And then there's other ones that didn't give a shit. Everyone's standing next to each other, sitting next to each other, and he was saying like how he felt uncomfortable, and that got me to thinking like I'm not terribly worried. I've been cautious, wearing masks and keeping clean and all that, but I just don't want to risk anyone else's health, you know. And the drive-in theaters, that would be fun. I think that'd be some kind of cool experience, and to kind of, it's like, you know, I don't know how else to put it, but like when you got the itch for something, you just give a little bit, and then that itch still isn't scratched. You still want more. You know, I feel that's kind of how, if we were to come out and just start doing a tour that were like limited capacity, spaced out, you had to stand there, you couldn't bump into each other. I feel like that wouldn't relieve that itch. It wouldn't scratch that itch that you have, because for me, when I go out and show, we played shows before where it was a headliner and, you know, it was, you know, half or full capacity, and everyone's just standing there, arms crossed the whole show. And I feel like I get off stage, I'm like, man, I didn't get anything from that. I know that in the heat of the moment, I didn't give anything back to the crowd because it was just boring. But at the end of the night, people are like, oh, that was a good show. Just no one moved around. But I feel like I could have given more, because you feed off that energy back and forth. So if you got all these shows that are just people standing still, I don't think you're really going to get the full experience. You're going to hear the music and you're going to get to see us on stage and the other bands on stage, but I really don't think it's going to be the same. And I think it's going to leave a weird taste in your mouth afterwards, you know? So I can't wait until we get damn near close to the real thing, you know? And I think that's my opinion. I'd rather wait until everything's good to go and we can just get right back into it, you know, beating the shit out of each other in mosh pits and singing loudly and sweating all over each other, you know? Because otherwise I just don't feel like it's the same thing, you know? I feel like I wouldn't be giving the product that the fans deserve.
Right. I think I'm with you, because I think that lends itself to different genres.
Yeah.
But, you know, even in our world, like, trying to think, you know, maybe something like a Nine Inch Nails could pull that off because it's so visual.
Mm-hmm. True.
But you're talking about bands, you know, where there's so much energy being fed back. It is really difficult to experience anything like that. And that's the whole point of going to concerts, right? Is you want to release that energy. You want to feed that energy as a musician and get it back. That's the thing you love. That's the drug. That's the thing you live for.
Right.
And as a fan, you want to see it, and you want to be in that crowd with like-minded people who, it doesn't matter what their political beliefs are. It doesn't matter what color their skin is. It doesn't matter who they're sleeping with. It doesn't matter anything. It just matters that you're fans of this artist that you're watching on stage, and everything else can fuck off in that moment.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, I'm with you. The drive-in concert thing feels very awkward to me. And I know a couple people that have done it. We did it locally on our classic rock station with some artists. I mean, I think it would be a cool. There's a lot of people there, but again, that's a cover band, really, for the most part. Like, when we're talking about our world, I think you need that.
Yeah, I think it would be a fun experience to do something like that. And it's something like, to say like 20 years from now, be like, yeah, we did a drive-in tour, you know. But I don't think that you're gonna leave, either the band or the fan is gonna leave that show going, oh, I needed that. That was such a great night. I feel like you're gonna walk away going, oh, it was cool. I got to see that band, you know, do that. I wish I could have seen. I wish this was different. I wish that, you know, I don't think anyone's gonna be fully satisfied going, oh man, I can't believe I finally saw blah, blah, blah. That was such a great show. That part when he did that, or that part when they did that, or blah, blah, blah. You know, I don't think you're not gonna have that. And that's what the shows are, man. That's what the concert feeling is, leaving there going, I don't know if I'm gonna hear tomorrow. I can't go into work because I think I broke my back. And I can't talk on the phone for the next 3 days because I lost my voice. You're not gonna get that at a drive-in theater, you know?
No, you're not. Okay, hear me out. Racetrack, stage in the middle, demolition derby.
Beautiful, love it. Where do we set that up?
Eric, I always love seeing you, my friend. I really.
Likewise, man. I gotta say, did you grow the hair out?
I did. I have been.
I love it. Keep doing it.
Well, It's funny as being single, I started, trying to date here and there or whatever. And one girl I went out with a couple times who's like, oh, I don't like the long hair, and then like you talk to somebody else and it's, I love the long hair. That's so amazing. Such beautiful hair you have. It's so funny. But yeah, I was going to cut it in May for mental health awareness, and it was the middle of the pandemic, so I didn't.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll wait till next year. Maybe I won't.
You do what you think looks good, and the girl that likes it and that deserves it will come around.
Such an inspiration.
I try.
Appreciate it. All right, man. We'll keep watching you on Twitch and all that stuff, dude.
I appreciate it.
Got it. I prevail. Eric, thank you so much.
Of course, man. Thank you. Much love. I miss you, man. Thanks for having me, dude.
Always. Anytime.
Hell yeah.
Bored and you want to have a conversation where I can record it like this and use it for my shows, just let me know.
Let's do it.
It's the Cutters Rockcast, co-hosted by Eric of I Prevail.
Cutters Rockcast.
Don't forget to tune in.
Exactly.